doing like a couple other little like freelance things here and there. But I think it was more like like a switch in my head where I had to go from being like, oh, this is just this fun thing. Like, oh, I don't know. Like, do I want to do this? Like, oh, maybe I'll like, respond to this email. Does it look like a cool store? I don't know. And then I had to have this switch to be like, wait, no, this is what you want to do. You have to treat this like a serious business and like get your line sheet going and be consistent. And then once I did that and like, just the growth has been really cool to watch from that. And just like, just like the confidence being able to like talk to these people and like get on these like calls and like, well, what I can offer you is this and that. And like, I don't know. It's just, but yeah. So now it's like, I think, you just have to take yourself seriously in a lot of ways.
You really went out and hustled too. I remember hearing about you being at 4th Street and talking
Oh
some
yeah, I saw your
shade
friends
on,
there.
talking some
Yeah.
shade on the web design expertise. Actually, that's really
I
what
didn't
I'd
say
love to
anything.
hear about too. But no, I'm just kidding. But
Did
you
I
were
say
out at
anything bad?
Dicey.
like a fair, right? Like at a street fair,
Yeah. Yeah, it
right?
was yeah, it's not there anymore, but it's like just like a maker's market,
Yeah.
I think is what they call them. And those are good. Yeah.
You just go there and what happens though? Like if you're in that type of situation, are you getting clients that day that are buying stuff, or is it more to kind of get your brand out there and get more eyeballs on what you're doing?
It's both, I guess. So I go there, and like you apply for those sort of things. You have to pay a fee, and you have to make sure like you want your space to look, good and complete. And it's definitely a learning experience every time. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should do this. And it's so hard to tell, but like here's an example. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I stopped saying I do custom at these fairs. It's like, oh, you do custom? Can you tell me more about it? And you tell them all about it and you give them your business card. And 99% of the time, you never hear from these people again. They're just like trying to have small talk, but it's just like, okay, I'm just trying to sell things. Like, I don't know, but it's good. You get people to like follow you on social media, post things to their story, buy products. Sometimes people will come back to buy them or they'll just go to your website. But I think but I have a friend who's a jeweler and like those markets are really good for her brand because, she makes rings and like really high end pieces of work. And so people will come there, try things on. They're not necessarily going to buy it because it's like $1,000 purchase, but they get to know the designer and the person. So it really depends on what you're trying to sell, but they're definitely really good to do. And it's a thing like right now, it's like they're non-existent. So it's like, it's been kind of like, how do I make this work? But everyone's finding out a way. And I was supposed to do West Coast Crafts this past summer, which is like one of those huge craft fairs, but those are really expensive to apply for, which is like something you have to consider because my product normally is like $13 and I think it's like $500 to apply. And it's like, okay, so if you have to think about how many patches am I going to sell to even cover my costs, and then how much profit are you going to make? But those are the type of places you go because you get like thousands of people there, and that's where you really want to network and have your mailing list out and all that stuff.
I really love these pop-up shop phenomena thing. So like if you go out to Bodega Bay, there's some really famous, like clam chowder places and stuff like that people go to when you go.
The Boathouse is really good.
Right. But now there's a pop-up shop clam chowder that was almost more popular than the other ones because it's a pop-up shop, and it's like, well, you don't know if they even know how to cook clam chowder. It's just a pop-up shop. It's not been there for a long time or anything like that. So maybe that's that's good advice for you since they're so trendy, these pop-up shops. It's amazing. You could just bring a table and just put it wherever there's a crowd and start selling your stuff.
It's interesting you bring that up because I have a friend who's in the food industry and he's starting a business selling sausages, and he was talking about that. And there's a whole sort of like recipe behind that where it's like they are purposely doing it like that so people have to travel and have to go there and wait in the line to get the food, and it's like it's such an attraction. And he's like, yeah, I don't really want to sell at different stores. I don't want to open a business right now. I want people to get to know my brand. And then eventually, once you get enough like hype behind that, then you can like open a business knowing that you'll have all these loyal customers and like you're testing out different products and knowing what works.
That's super cool.
Kind of crazy.
People are going to him.
That's his. Well, he was talking about it when he first started out, because there was like this pop-up. It's called they were making burgers. It's called Lovely's, and they would they were like In-N-Out burgers, I guess. I'm allergic to red meat, so I couldn't eat them. But like they would be at different bars, and like they got like a write-up in some like food magazine, and then like all of a sudden there would just be like lines, like hour-long lines, wait to get these burgers.
The food culture is so nuts. I guess it's like
it's smart.
It's really smart.
The ephemeral nature of these pop-ups is what people like. Is, get it before it's gone.
I just love the no credibility but lines. That's what I love about them too. It's just like, I have a table and I decided to show up, so it must be good. And
right,
check it out.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, it must be good. Okay, okay, it's $20. Yeah, it must be really good."
We should just start a business where we provide lines. We just provide lines wherever you need them, and then
you have someone videoing your line, post that online. And then another really great thing about markets for me, it's a really great way to test. I always try to do new products because you can like test them and kind of see how people respond to them.
Yes,
and then you can go from there.
Oh yeah,
you can hear feedback. Yeah.
So when you decided to build your website, I know you went through multiple different iterations, and I'm kind of curious where you've ended up on and kind of what that landscape looks like. So if you're a small business, you have a few different options about building a website. And this is a question everybody wonders, like, what do I do for that? And I think this would be a fun conversation. I have some ideas that I often give out, but I'm curious about yours as well.
Actually, Shopify.
Shopify.
No, that's another option, but Squarespace. No, I'm just kidding.
Squarespace is the one. Yeah. So I think I started off with WordPress because that's what we worked on in class, and then I found okay. So then I was using Was it WooCommerce?
Yeah, WooCommerce. So that's a WordPress plugin, right?
Yeah. So I was using that.
Which seemed like a good deal back in the day, right? Like that seemed like a good way to go.
It was a good way to go, and it worked. And you know, at this point, I wasn't really taking it. Was just still more like a fun side project. I don't think everything was still scanned images. But then I realized one day, I don't know, maybe I'd forgotten to do an update. I honestly can't remember, or like there was like a bug or something. And I realized that I had like over 200 unresponded emails in my WooCommerce over like a span of like 6, like maybe not 6 months, I don't know, like 2 months or something. And I was like, ooh, this isn't good. And so then and then I was like, well, maybe should I try Etsy? So I tried Etsy, but you have to pay a lot more. And I was like, I don't want to do Etsy. So then I switched over to Shopify. And when I was doing my site for Shopify, and I was looking at different themes, I've done 2 different Shopify sites, because one of them the first one I just did like a photo shoot, and I was trying to do like clothes and stuff like that. So like I was really excited. And so I switched that way. And then I realized like, okay, doing clothes, I don't want to deal with all that. It's not for me. So I wanted to redo the website because it didn't really work for my product. And then I realized that a lot of my customers were coming from their phone because they would go on Instagram and then shop. So I did a theme that was like really responsive, but it's kind of boring on the computer. And so I think now that I'm in a position where, yes, I get a lot of my like direct web traffic can't be from Instagram, but it's also coming from like, because on Shopify it tells you the conversion. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's like, this person came from Google and they've visited your site this many times in the past this many days, and this is their first or second purchase. Nice. So I definitely think if you're trying, I think Shopify is the way. And also now with Instagram and Facebook, so Facebook owns Instagram now, right? And you have to, if you want to do the shopping feature on Instagram, I'm pretty sure it has to be, but I could be wrong, but you do it through Shopify.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
that's what I use for my business. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
But
do you think about it so far, Josh? What's your experience with it?
yeah,
It's good. The only limiting factor is me. We need to put more time into using all the tools and stuff. But I think that like the analytics of where the people came from and stuff is pretty spot on. I trust that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's better than like just a Google Analytics because it's specific for shopping, right?
yeah, they've got it down. And I mean, that's the one good part about being tracked everywhere. So they can tell where
yeah.
people come from.
Well, and then there's also the pixel on Facebook, which I'm not really. I need to work on my marketing more. But like you install this pixel on your site, and then you can go and you can see, you get down to the real nitty gritty about what people are doing on your website, and it's like pretty crazy to watch. But yeah, I don't know. I could pull it up.
So I think so. You have a really specific brand and a really specific and unique. Every one of the designs is really unique, right? But other people that are creating a new store, I often recommend them to create an Amazon store. Have you ever considered doing that?
I did. I have done that, and I did not like it.
What didn't you like
Interesting.
about it?
It was okay. This was years ago when Amazon shopping was like first like coming to. So maybe they've changed their tune, but they were like, okay, do this thing. And I was like, okay, great. I did it. And then I had to like mark up things by like a lot in order to get my, the same amount of money. And what I always do, which you probably shouldn't do, but I'll like mark it up. And then in fine print, I would write, to shop more, go to patchulator.com. And then, or for 10% off more or 10% off your first searches, go to patchulator.com. I think that's what I used to do on my Etsy. But then I realized like it wasn't working for me because I wasn't like, I think I had to charge like $20 for a patch that I would charge $12 on my site to get like the amount of money that I felt like, I needed for my time and cost of goods. And then in order to discontinue it, I had to not be able to sell anything for 30 days.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this isn't, and I swear, I could be wrong, but I swear that I would be like right on like the 29th day. And that's what it was. Okay, scratch what I said. I ended up I would sell things after like 25 days, and then it would start all over again. So that's when I marked everything up to like $20. And it's like, if you want to spend that much money, then you can. But otherwise, I'm trying to get off this.
So did you have to pay a monthly fee or something like that to be on there? Like, how does that work?
I can't, maybe that's what it was. I can't remember, but there's something about it that just didn't seem, or you had to update things. Because this was like 4 years ago, but it just was. I just remember that you had to like not sell anything for 30 days before you could get off.
Yeah, because you know what I like about it is for people starting out a bit, like let's